This is a review of Split, that M. Night Shyamalan movie that came out a couple months ago with the guy with 23 different personalities. Help! Kidnaps those girls. Help! I've been trapped by a man with multiple personalities. Da, 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 da. I did not really want to see this movie. I kind of dragged myself into it because some of my friends really wanted to watch it. And I just had low expectations because Shyamalan. I don't know. It just didn't look that good to me from the trailers, and it was better than I expected. I don't know if I'd recommend going to see it in theaters. I'd recommend waiting until it comes to Netflix or something. 'Cause it's a weird movie to talk about because it's got one really great performance, like James McAvoy, is that how you say his name? I don't know. The one playing the multiple personality character whose his body's name is Kevin. He's got all these different personalities. He is phenomenal. Completely loses himself in all these characters, switches back and forth, has these different voices, is genuinely creepy. He delivers some of this honestly really bad writing with and makes it so much more interesting. He's pretty much the saving grace of the movie. He's A plus material, Oscar worthy performance. Everybody else, or everything else, because I don't want to pinpoint any actors is the problem, but just everything else was like mediocre to bad, or like there was occasional other good stuff, but nothing was even at the same level of greatness. There's a lot of so there's this whole subplot. This is kind of minor spoilers, so if you really don't want to get any of this spoiled, click away. There's this minor subplot where you've got this lady who is Kevin's therapist, and she's trying to prove that people with dissociative identity disorder, which is I'm not sure what the difference are between it and multiple personality disorder, or if they're just the same thing or what, but this is what Kevin is claimed as having. And she's trying to prove that people with dissociative identity disorder can develop entirely different physicalities and really become these multiple people inside of one body. I don't know how much validity there is to that statement, but M. Night Shyamalan seems to, I don't know, the way he writes the movie, it sounds like he genuinely believes that, and it's like a central crux of the movie. There's basically the entire subplot involving this therapist woman is revolving around, and there's a lot of just weird, pointless scenes that are clearly supposed to be some sort of metaphor involving that, but just fall flat because Shyamalan is such a pretentious writer and director. He's not a good writer, and he just creates these odd pieces where he's trying to be insightful and artful, but because there's another theme throughout it of kind of the idea that people who have experienced trauma and are broken-ish, to use a term the movie uses a lot, are more advanced or capable of more or something, which is an interesting idea. It's just so muddied by his pretentious delivery of it, and there are entire scenes in this movie that don't matter and actively detriment the quality of the movie just to push his weird metaphors that he's making. But when you get the meat of it, the stuff that shows the least Shyamanisms, which is just man with multiple personalities, some of which are psychotic, kidnaps 3 teenage girls, and traps them in a basement, and they have to figure out how to escape is good. And his performance is great and elevates even some of the more weird stuff. Like, learning about his character is the most interesting part of the movie. You just, because the teenage girls, there's only one of them that really matters. Like, the other two are basically expendable. Honestly, like, this is kind of, again, spoilers here. Nah, never mind. There's no spoilers. The other two teenagers are like expendable. Like, several times I thought they were gonna die because I'm like, because I don't know. They're basically just there to show, to have them try to escape and fail a couple times without, like, it's clear who the main girl is Casey, the more mentally traumatized, more like mentally, just the other two are like your standard teenage girls, and they're not the smartest. I mean, they're not completely incompetent, but they just don't add anything to the movie, and other than, like, they're your typical expendable horror ensemble, and it's just kind of whatever. But they aren't particularly great actors either. The lead girl is pretty good, but I mean, she's still nothing compared to, like, McAvoy's like multiple personality person performance, which was just really great. But so overall, like, I don't know. This movie pissed me off in a lot of ways that I did. Like there were bits that like not just because I realize, it's one of those thriller movies. There are parts that are supposed to piss you off, but there were parts of this movie that pissed me off that, like, should not have pissed me off. And the end was so messy because it got full on into his, like, blatant metaphors and stuff. Now, I'm sure you know from the marketing, so this is minor spoilers, but not that huge of a thing, is that the multiple personality guy, Kevin, talks about the beast. The beast is coming, and it's alluded to throughout the movie, and spoilers, but at the end the beast does show up, and it's a bit weird and sci-fi, but it's not even so much the sci-fi that I have the problem with. It's that, like, the characters start making, even the girl, who was actually pretty intelligent and resourceful throughout the movie, she starts making really stupid decisions, and all these characters make really stupid decisions surrounding this beast thing, and just make it, like, he basically, the only reason the beast doesn't win is that he, like, gives up at the end or something. I don't know. It was really weird because it got all, like, preachy with the metaphors that he was trying to push, and it kind of lost sight of the actual, like, fun, like, the just cool thriller story in there. I really wanted to see Get Out instead, which I think would have been a much better movie, but unfortunately, like, it's R-rated, and I'm old enough to see R-rated movies, but most of my friends are not. I have younger friends, and so it's just kind of, and the adult has to be 21 to get in teenagers, which is a stupid rule. So, like, I don't know. We were gonna see Get Out, my group of friends, but then they're like, we can't get in, so I guess we'll watch Split instead. And I was like, oh, fine. And I mean, I guess I enjoyed it, kind of. It really pissed me off. I wouldn't watch it again. This is probably one of the more wishy-washy reviews I've made in a while, because I do watch a pretty good repertoire of movies. Either I'll watch good movies, or I'll watch movies that are, like, cheesy fun. I rarely watch movies like this, where they're, like, just a mixed bag. So, to summarize, really great performance from James McAvoy, surrounded by pretentious Shyamalan-isms and a kind of generic horror plot that just didn't really work. His performance is A++++, just great, Oscar worthy. Everything else, C minus to flat out failing. Like, so I can't really like rate the movie, like, because his performance and then everything else. But yeah, so I mean, I guess if you liked it from the trailers, you're pretty much getting what the trailers promised you, just with, well, just with a little bit more like weird scenes that have nothing to do with anything. There's some really like genuinely uncomfortable stuff in there. It actually goes like a bit darker than I was expecting it to go for a PG-13 movie at certain points. But those are like, and those are the interesting moments. This random tangential point. I'm just rambling, so I'm gonna say arrivederci.